These are great movies! When you got movies like Tom Cruise in them, you can't lose. 6 bags of popcorn, 2 sodas. It's On Cinema at the Cinema with me, your host, Tim Heidecker. But anyway, I'm going to power through. All right, our movie today is The Nut Job, we're directed by Peter Lepenitis, Peter Lepenitis, and cast of Will Arnett, one of my favorites, Katherine Heigl, and Brendan Fraser. So this is the classic case of the Fast and the Furious, and I love this movie. I thought it was missing the great Paul Driver. I thought, he really held that series together. Of course, we lost him a few years ago. So we would have wished him back, and I think these days with digital animation and cartoons and stuff, they could have put him in there easily. So I don't know why they didn't. That was disrespectful. They should have had him in like we had Tom Cruise Jr. On the Oscar special. And that was my only note. And they could have gotten his son to do the voice, vice versa kind of thing. If he has a son, I don't know if he does. And was it animated or was it not? I don't know. In any event, when I hear the voice of Katherine Heigl and Brendan Fraser, it reminds me of who they are. So maybe I was even just daydreaming a little bit during the movie, imagining those two together romantically. Would be interesting. Something for a memo to Hollywood. You want to put them two in bed together. Easy on the eyes. I'm sorry. I think I got to go to the emergency room because I don't want to get gangrene.
No, I don't think you will. I think what you have is diabetes.
It's not diabetes. That stinks down there too. It smells like.
Yeah, it does.
It's not normal foot odor. It's sort of a.
Yeah, maybe you should give the movie 5 bags of popcorn and 5 bags of smelling salts so that we can block out the smell. All
right. Well, let's move along to our next movie, which ironically is called Ride Along, directed by Tim Story. I like that, Tim Story. What's this? If they made a documentary or normal biographical picture about myself, you'd call it Tim Story.
I think you'd call it The Nut Job.
You'd watch yourself. You're a guest on my show. Show respect for being here. Show respect for that seat. I got a line 10 people deep that want to sit in that chair, want to talk about it.
They probably don't want to sit in it now.
They do. You watch your mouth. I am who I am. And this is a documentary film, a story about a warning sign. It's a clarion call. It's actually the canary in the coal mine letting us know that there is a chance of the end of the American experience. The country itself is under collapse, and we are at risk of a complete takeover by the Hillary people who are in charge of Hillary Clinton. This is one of my favorite movies of the year. I think it will win the Best Picture. A bombshell movie that's going to expose Hillary Clinton for the fraud that she is, the criminal she is. She belongs in prison, in my opinion. She has broken every commandment, every law.
Well, just discuss the movie.
And this is my opportunity to speak my mind.
We already had that earlier with a soapbox, with a 60-minute soapbox, so now people want to know about the movies.
Well, there's no question about it that she deserves life term in prison, if not more. And by more, I mean execution for treason. They should all be strung up, and everybody was...
now you're going to get our theater shut down.
No, I'm formally requesting the United States government try Hillary Clinton and her husbands to stand trial and be executed. And that is an official request on behalf of a true American patriot myself. I mean, what's going on? What country is this? That's my only point. I do want to give a shout out to a friend of mine down in Austin, Texas, Jeff Stringer. I was down there a couple weeks ago. I was attending a Liberty rally, and Jeff recognized me. Nice guy, and he came over and he said, "You're from On Cinema." I said, "Absolutely." He said, "I'm a big fan. Why don't you come with me?" And I followed him about 6 blocks and walked into a cowboy store, a Western store, which they have a bunch of down there. He sized me up and found me these cool boots. I think they're ostrich. And yep. All right. Well, big thanks to my wonderful two guests on this Decker Day episode of On Cinema at the Cinema. We got Gregg Turkington and Joe Estevez. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you at the premiere of Decker 2, which starts on Monday. Coming
Where's
up.
the premiere going to be?
I'm just saying we'll all be a chance to watch it. This is
Oh,
sort of
okay.
the premiere party here with me in costume and everything like that. Too much to do. We got to get back to Hawaii and finish making the show. Once again, check out Decker Season 2 starting on Monday right here on this website, and you'll be able to see new episodes of Decker Monday through Friday. That's every day of the week. And it's a wonderful new series written by me with some selected sequences written by Gregg Turkington and directed by myself, as well as produced and starring Tim Heidecker as Decker.
Yeah, it was funny when you first brought this movie up and you said it wasn't a Christmas movie, and I guess technically it isn't, but in a way it's the ultimate Christmas movie in that it's a gift from Peter Jackson to the world. I was a little disappointed in it, disappointed that it didn't come out earlier, because I've been waiting for this movie since 5 minutes after the last one ended.
Acknowledge I was in an accident yesterday on my motorcycle. Quick story, I was just we wrapped our final scene with on Decker, which was now all in the can, and we had a really fun wrap party. And thank you, by the way, for all the nice words you said about episode 1 of Decker. I'm really happy with it. And,
I didn't say anything nice about it.
Anyways, I was coming home, and when I came out here from Jackson Hole, I basically threw in 3 shirts and just hit the road, hauled ass out of here, got here in 3 days. And so I was like, I didn't really have underwear and socks and everything. So on the way back from the wrap party, I stopped in at a Walmart and I pulled into the parking lot. And because I'm on my motorcycle, I can park in the handicap spot up front. So I pull into the handicap spot and I'm idling her down. And some old bitch comes out. She's yelling at me saying, you shouldn't be allowed to park there. You don't have the thing. I shut up. And so she's yelling at me and I'm getting pissed off, and I get to get off the bike, like, because I want to go at her, and my boot gets caught in the saddlebag of the bike. I twist off the bike, and the kickstand was in the wrong spot and didn't hold and clipped out from under the bike. So the bike tipped over, and I spun out around and over the bike, smacked my face up against onto the pavement. And then the bike fell over onto me and my hand and fractured my wrist. And then of course I got all this.
So the bike wasn't even moving?
I was so glad I was able to see this movie with my own beautiful 20/20 vision eyes. And I give it 5 bags of popcorn. Gregg, what'd you think?
You know what? I don't really want to say anything about it because anything I say might end up in an episode of Decker. So.
Okay. I'm sorry.
You took the footage. You did this interview with me that I thought was for the show. I thought it was a little weird, but whatever. And then I watched Decker, and it's just cut with dialogue for me. You talking to me that you stuck in Decker without ever asking.
You don't understand how Hollywood works? That's how it works.
No, you ask someone, do you want to be in Decker? And then you film them in Decker. You don't steal footage from an on-cinema segment and incorporate it into Decker.
First of all, don't
because I didn't agree to be part of Decker, and I wouldn't have agreed to it.
All right.
And if I was going to do it, I'd want to act in it. I wouldn't want to just have footage of me answering questions about movie expertise that I have, and then suddenly I'm some weirdo character in Decker.
No, you're not a weirdo character. You're an important part. You're a CIA analyst. It's kind of a cool part. You should be proud of that. First of all, I didn't steal anything. As soon as you walk onto this set, anything you say or do is mine. I own it.
Oh, do you have cameras in the toilets too?
No. I'm using things responsibly, and you know that.
It's not responsible if I'm talking about The Godfather 2, and then I watch Decker, and there I am talking about some CIA plan that I had no knowledge that you were using my footage.
Yeah, but you're not seeing the big picture.
With Decker, there's no big picture.
Oh, give me a break. You're such a baby on this. Do you want me to recut Decker without you in it?
Yes.
I can't do that. It's already aired. That footage I can use for whatever I want to use it for. Yes, I can.
I never agreed to that.
You agreed to be a part of the On Cinema family, correct?
Well, being part of a family doesn't mean being raped by Dad, and that's how I feel what you've done to me.
Well, what they say in the business is you're not using the I did what I thought was right for the show.
Stealing
And if
footage.
It's not stealing, Greg, okay?
I didn't-
Hey! As soon as, like I said, you become part of the realm, you become part of the On Cinema family, you become mine. Everything you do is mine, okay? And if you don't want to do that, walk off, and I don't ever want to see you
I don't want
again.
to do that because you can't steal
Yes, I
people's
can
work
do-
like that.
You're gonna
It's
walk
not
off?
fair.
You know what?
Well, I
no
don't want
review
to,
for-
but
Gregg Turkington has no opinion on Teenage Mutant Ninja
5
Turtles.
bags of popcorn.
Huh?
Good day. 5 bags of popcorn.
I'm in my constitutional rights to use whatever footage I
No,
want.
you're not.
That's called the Freedom of Information Act. That's Article 1 of the Constitution specifically identifies.
They didn't
as
have movies
freedom of-
back then, so there's nothing about that.
This is not a movie, it's a mini-series. It is freedom of speech, freedom of self-expression that I own on cinema. And if you want to be a part of that, then you have to be a part of whatever I decide we do. Otherwise, you can go f*** yourself. I was in my rights to use that footage, and I could back that up to the Supreme Court if I need to. And you know it, okay? And what I did with it was something perfect and beautiful. I made you into a great actor, and you'll see people are going to be running up to you asking you for parts in the next movie. You'll be a next Forrest Gump. We don't even have any other movies to talk about. All right, that's it. Get the lights. I did what was right for this show. Now, go to
It has
bed
nothing to do
sleeping.
with this show.
I will
It
go
has
to bed
nothing to do with
sleeping every night. I will go to bed sleeping every night knowing I did the right thing for this show. I did the right thing for Decker. I did the right thing for me. You go f*** yourself. And Gregg, thank you so much for being on my show.
Hey, guys.
I got to say, this has been a wild several months, and I'm going to try to get through this without getting too emotional, but I do want to bring everybody up to speed. It's going to be a long show. It's going to be a somewhat painful show because of where we're at. I don't know how much time we're even going to have for the movies, but let me just start by saying, last week I was in such a different place because of what I realized all at once was I do not belong in Jackson Hole with the filth trash that live there, bad people. Don't ever go there. Terrific. Let me put it this way. I was getting guys that were involved with KKK, all right? I didn't know that when I was hanging out with them and doing business with them, but I found out later. It was a bad scene, and I had to get out of there. And I was looking at Gregg Turkington's On Cinema at the cinema, and it dawned on me that where I belong was what I had given up, which was being the host of On Cinema at the cinema. And I had it all. And it dawned on me, I said, why did I throw all that away to go to Jackson Hole to live amongst these terrible people who are doing terrible things to me? And I have to say, I want to thank Gregg Turkington here for agreeing to come back and be the expert that he is on this show. I know that was a painful conversation we had to have, and I am proud of myself for making these hard choices. I want to salute myself and pat myself on the back for having the courage to admit when I'm wrong, and also to acknowledge that there is a place for me, and it is here as the host of this show. It is great to be back as the head of the On Cinema family. I am the father of the On Cinema family, and the father has come home, much like in the classic Bible tales of Abraham and Moses and Jesus Christ himself. I have come back, and my flock is now amongst us, and I am the shepherd to this flock. Almost like in the story of Christ, he has risen from the grave. And I am back to reclaim what is mine.
Like the Ten Commandments.
Like the Ten
Charlton
Commandments
Heston.
with Charlton Heston, yeah. You can almost quote Arnold Schwarzenegger himself by saying, I'm back.
Ladies' Night.
It's ladies' night. Because we got Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn Part 2, which stars Kristen Stewart, Robert Pattinson, directed by Bill Condon, and it's just so glad to be healthy, happy, and this guy's still healing. That's going to take a little while, as you know. People wondering how Hogshots is going. I've got a bit of an issue coming out with Tom Cruise, who I've made the formal offer to be on the cover, and he has not replied, and I've not heard anything. Even his assistant hasn't replied. And if I don't have him for cover, I've already pre-sold the book to bookstore Chapman's Books in Jackson Hole. I've pre-sold 10 copies of the books under the condition that he is on the cover. So quick little message while, if he's watching, Tom, I don't know what's going on. This is the third time I've reached out to your people about offering you a part in the cover of my book, Hogshots. And I'm at my wit's end because I don't know if you've created too much of a wall around you. You have too many yes men keeping you from getting this kind of information. But I really feel like you're missing out on a great opportunity. But if you don't want to do it, I need to know, because I need to move forward and need to find a star for the cover of my book. At this point, if I can't get you, I'd have to go to somebody like Jack Nicholson, and that is problematic because he doesn't even ride motorcycles anymore because of his age. I'm at a loss, Tom, and I'm afraid that if this continues, it's going to start affecting the reviews that I give your movies. And I know that sounds harsh and unfair, but it's true, because how am I supposed to watch a Tom Cruise movie and not feel anger and resentment towards you? And you're going to start seeing 5-star Tom Cruise movies are going to be more like 2-3 bags of popcorn, which I'd hate to do. So please call me back, get back to me, email me, whatever it takes. I need to hear from you now. Thank you. All right, I won't bore anybody more about Hogshots coming to bookstores next year.
One of my journeys to the flea markets. This is a pretty unique item. I would venture to say it's quite valuable. This isn't an antique roadshow here, but this is something you're not going to find everywhere or anywhere. It's a Spanish language version of Jurassic Park. It's called El Parque Jurásico. When you put this in your video player, it starts out, you think you're watching Jurassic Park, and then it's wild. Every line of dialogue is totally in Spanish. So I've never seen anything like this before, and it's my gift to you to thank you for all you've contributed to On Cinema.
Oh. Thank you very much.
Very unique.
I can't read this. Looks like I'm just looking at random letters.
That's the beauty of it, is it's so familiar yet so different, and that's why I think you'll have fun. This would be a fun thing to watch with friends late at night, have a couple of drinks and have a few laughs, and enjoy El Parque Jurásico. Esteban Spielberg. Totally in Spanish.
All right, thanks for watching. Okay, the other movie we saw the matinee of this the other day is One Direction. This Is Us, and this is a documentary about one of your favorite groups,
Yes.
One Direction.
I loved it.
Yeah, they were.
They're
I
cute.
loved it. Yeah, they're cute. I'm not saying that. She's saying that, but.
Oh, you're cuter.
Well, I'm not the jealous guy, but believe me. Okay. Give me a minute.
Yeah. I watched the Popcorn Classics last week where Ayaka hijacked a segment that I created and did Airheads. And when I got here earlier, her purse was in the other room, in the green room, and it was open, and I went through it and I noticed the copy of Airheads from last week, which when I watched the episode, I was pretty fascinated to see this tape because I recognized it immediately.
Yeah, I love
As
that.
my copy of Airheads, I could see the red right away. This is why I set up this system, to prevent thieves. You could still see part of the coding on this thing, which is all you need to indict and convict. Here's the evidence. This tape has been vandalized.
I have no idea.
Where did you get this? Because I've never had you in my home, and my doors have been locked. And as soon as I saw the episode, I went to the shelf where this was kept, because I have a printout with all these things, and saw that there was a space where Airheads normally is. And this is why I had this system that you laughed at, this security system, is because of situations like this. And this is why the system works. And I can still see exactly what film this is, because some of the number is still left here. You didn't even peel it off very carefully.
I'm not sure. I have no idea how that could happen.
Where did you get this?
I found it in a box in your room.
I've never.
Does he have other tapes where there's a strip missing from the bottom of the box like this?
I don't remember.
Well, I have never seen that tape except for last week when Ayaka brought it out. I don't know where the she got it from. I'm sorry to curse, but I don't know where she got it from.
Well, she says she got it from you.
She didn't get it from me. That's all I know.
This tape hasn't been in my collection for several months, and if you're going to borrow tapes, you know you're supposed to return them within a week, and certainly return them in
Listen,
good collection.
Greg, you bring
and
in
certainly
tapes
not
all the
use
time
them.
to the studio for different popcorn classics. Maybe that one got left in.
I love this movie, but this is not a popcorn classic. It's a different type of
It
thing.
is a popcorn
Well,
classic.
it's a great
That's because
movie.
Ayaka
It's
chose
a great
it for
movie,
one.
but it's not a popcorn
Okay.
classic. But it's
Well-
certainly not a classic now that the tape has been ruined, and I have to find another
first
copy of this.
time I'm
and
seeing
it's
that-
a betrayal that you betrayed me already by giving my segment to someone else, who then is stealing my property and marring it.
First time I saw Airheads was I actually saw it many years ago in the theater, but the first time I saw that tape of it was last week when Ayaka brought the tape onto the show and showed it. That's I swear to God.
So you're saying
I swear to
Ayaka
God.
ripped the tape off of it? You didn't.
I don't know where Ayaka got the tape
Who
from.
ripped
It's
the
not.
tape
It didn't
off?
come from my house.
But who ripped the red tape off of this? Was it you or was it Ayaka?
I told you
It
what I
was
know.
Like that.
So you're saying Tim did it?
Yes. I
You
don't
didn't
know
get it from my
something
house. I
important.
didn't. It was. It could not have come from my house. Could not have come from my house.
Well,
So
what?
she's lying.
I'm not lying.
She's lying about this, and I apologize to you because I don't know how that happened. But you have to come out and tell the truth of whether you found it around here in the studio or you got into his house and took it. I don't know what you did, but you're putting me on the spot here, and I want to say that I don't appreciate it, and you're being disrespectful to the show, and we have big problems.
Switched it over to do a different segment today. I was going to do
I
a
don't check
popcorn.
email.
All right, well,
Okay, it's not on location.
No,
No.
not on
No.
location. It's actually a segment that you developed for the show called On Cinema on Guests, where we interview guests of the show and learn more about them.
Okay, what do you got, Larry Turman or?
Oh, just run the clip.
All right, let's see who Greg's interviewed. Himself, maybe. Let's take a Thanks for
Hi, Greg. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Good. Hey, I'm doing this new segment for On Cinema called On Cinema on Guests, where we sort of get to know the guests that we've had on the show, and you were one of our most popular guests, so I was
Oh.
hoping to get an update. So what have you been up to lately?
I've been busy with baby. You know, Tim and I have a baby now. I named him Tom Cruise after his favorite actor. I don't know, he hasn't returned my call or anything, but he sent me money, so I bought a ticket to go back to America. I want Tim to meet our baby. I miss America. I miss you too.
Thank you. Well, we'd love to see you here.
Ah, yay! See you guys soon.
Yes. Thanks for doing the interview.
Oh, no problem. Thank you.
See you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so that was On Cinema on Guests. Tim had to go make a phone call.
Starring Charlize Theron, Chloe Grace Moritz, and Nicholas Hoult. A bunch of no names. I'm sick of looking at these movies that don't have people I know in them. Okay? Where the hell's Tom Hanks? Get Tom Hanks in there. You got to make more movies with Tom Hanks.
He's in a lot of movies.
He's not. A woman who survived the brutal killing of her family as a child is not enough.
Oh, there's only so many hours.
A woman
in
who
day.
survived the brutal killing of her family as a child is forced to confront the events of that day by a secret society obsessed with solving crimes. I could not bear to watch this movie. It was just there's too much kid stuff in it with babies and everything. I can't handle that right now. Can't handle that information. Okay? There's too much going on for me right now. I'm stacked. I'm up to my ears in shit. Everybody's giving me crap, wanting this and that from me. I cleared my. I sleep good at night knowing that I did what I thought was right.
Well, you sleep good at night because you haven't done anything. I'm the one that Ayaka comes knocking on my door,
You don't bring
crying
her name
her
up on
eyes
the
out,
show. You
crying
don't
her
bring her
eyes
name
out
up on
because you
this
won't
show.
let her into your place, and now she's sleeping on my couch, and I've got a baby screaming, and it's very hard.
Well, I don't want to
to
hear about
watch
that. I don't know why
movies with-
she's even here. She shouldn't have come over here. She doesn't have a student visa or anything like that.
Well, because she
don't belong
wanted
in
you
this country.
to meet your child.
I don't
and-
want to have anything to do with that. I told her exactly what to do with that kid. 9 months ago, whenever that all thing went down. I told her exactly what to do with that. She didn't do it. That's her choice. That's a choice she lives with. But as far as I'm concerned, I have nothing to do with her. I'm going back on my motorcycle. I'm going back to Jackson Hole, and I'm going to see the people that I love out there. I don't love people here. I don't love them. All right? No, I'm not talking about it. You can be with her if you want. You can raise that child.
Well, I'm not raising the child, but the child's at my house right now.
I don't
because you
care where that kid could be the bottom of the ocean for all I care. He's not mine.
He looks just like you, so he's definitely yours.
I take no responsibility for that. The check was in the mail. What she did with that money is up to her.
Well,
It's
she's been
criminal
spending it on
negligence.
baby
Yeah, it's
food,
'cause
on
she's a
hospital bills, and she's spending on a flight for her and the baby to come out and see
Right.
the baby's father.
Well,
so that's what
I
she's
got
spending
news
it on.
for you.
And that's
She's
a better
not an
way.
American citizen, and she does not have the rights that you and I have. And
Well,
that,
the baby's an American citizen
no,
because
it's
the
not.
baby was
on
born
foreign soil.
born from an American father.
Wrong. I'll take the paternity test. Who knows whose baby that is? She's been sleeping around, I heard.
No.
It's just not, it should be off air anyways. Nobody cares about this stuff.
Well,
Hi everyone, my name is Tim Heidecker, and I usually am the host of On Cinema at the Cinema, but today we're not going to be talking about movies. Sorry. We're going to be talking about my son, Tom Cruise Heidecker, who passed away over the weekend. Well, my heart is broken, and it's turned to black, and my future seems so uncertain, 'cause he ain't coming back. 2, 3, 4, time it. Farewell, Tom Cruise. Miss you, son, and I wish you well. Farewell, Tom Cruise. Miss you, son, you ain't coming back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Farewell, Tom Cruise. I miss you, son, and I wish you well. Farewell, Tom Cruise. I miss you, son, you ain't coming back to me now. He ain't not coming back. He ain't coming back. He ain't coming back.